I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight on the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused a spark that's a four-alarm fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that the lips are burned in mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for that afterglow or candlelight on the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused a spark that's a four-alarm fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that those lips of yours are burned in mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I'm beginning to see the light. I'm beginning to see the light.
Ooh, great. Thank you. That was awesome. What a way to start off this morning. Thank you, ChristineEss. Welcome, everybody. Hello. And I'm glad you're here and you found Unity of Tacoma. My name is Reverend Lori Erwin Johnson, and I go by the pronouns she and her. And if this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. It's awesome to have you here. I'm glad you found us. And if you've been here before, we're so glad to have you back. We're always welcome here at Unity of Tacoma. And if you're not here on Sunday mornings, you could always come back and watch any of the messages that we've had from previous. And it'll be on our YouTube site and also on our website. And just make sure you check us out because there's always inspiration there for you at any time. I'd like to introduce our musical guest. We just had ChristineEss Young. You've heard what she can do, and you know if you've been here before, you know that she's so awesome. So we have lots more music coming from her, and so she'll be back in a few minutes to bring on some more music. Thank you for joining us today, ChristineEss. I appreciate you. Our prayer today is the prayer for protection. And every once in a while, I just like to make that just the focal point of our prayer because I think it's really important to just be in the moment. And today is all about allowing things to be. And so let's pray for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is and all is well. I'm going to have ChristineEss bring us back with another song, and then I'm going to go into our message today.
Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only let it be, you would say, I like you the way you are. When we're driving in your car and you're talking to me one-on-one, but you become somebody else around everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me, yeah. Tell me, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else gets me frustrated. Life's like this, you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and promise me I'm never gonna find you fake it. No. dressed up like you're something else. Where you are ain't where it's at. You see, you're making me laugh out when you strike your pose. Take off all those preppy clothes. You know you're not fooling anyone when you become somebody else. Around everyone else, you're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me. Tell me, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? See the way you're acting like you're somebody else gets me frustrated. Lives like this, you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and promise me I'm never gonna find you fake it. No, 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 no. Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. You know you're not fooling anyone when you become somebody else. Around everyone else, you're watching your back like you can't relax. You're trying to be cool, you look like a fool to me. Tell me, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? It's the way you're acting like you're somebody else gets me frustrated. Life's like this, you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and promise me I'm never gonna find you fake it. No, no, why do you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else gets me frustrated. You fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and promise me I'm never gonna find you fake it. No, no, no.
That was perfect. That was perfect for my message today. Thank you. Thank you. So today we're continuing our 6-week Lenten series on Release and Renew 2022. So each Sunday throughout the last couple of weeks through the Lenten season, if you know what that is and you're familiar with that Christian concept, it is a time of year in the Christian calendar where you're letting go of something for a 40-day period. So sometimes it could be a vice or a habit. Maybe you drank too much coffee, you decided to cut back or to stop, or you eat too much chocolate like me, and so you wanted to stop or cut back. But that's not what we're focusing on here. We're not focusing on letting go of things that really we enjoy. We're letting go of things that no longer serve us. What is it that we have that we're doing that's hindering our growth or not allowing us to grow? And so we're bringing this healthy, nurturing aspects of life back into our awareness. And we're focusing today on accepting what is. And that was a wonderful song because we don't have to make it that complicated. Life does not have to be that complicated. Our affirmation today is I release any drama or conflict and I renew my inner peace and spirit. I release any drama or conflict and I renew my inner peace and spirit. And throughout this Lenten series, when we're talking about releasing and renewing, I'm using a book from unity.org that it's a booklet that you can get delivered to your door. You can have it delivered to your phone or to your computer. And it's a daily devotional that helps you get through this season with daily readings and affirmations. And today's reading is from Reverend Elizabeth Longo from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And she writes, "The sweetness of spirit embraces and renews your soul. You are the creator of your life's story. You have the power to choose where you focus your attention. Instead of being drained by drama, you can create a radiant life filled with delight, joy, and peace. Stay tuned to your inner life. If you're feeling drained, pause and remember to center yourself in prayer and affirm your divine essence. Take time daily for self-care and self-love. You are worthy. Rest is pure awareness, continuing to expand in consciousness and delighting in the immense beauty within and around you. Rejoice and celebrate the birth of a new you. You are no longer immersed in any kind of behavior or drama that doesn't serve your highest good. You are free. With a grateful heart centered in God, fully aware of my divinity, my faith is strong and all is well. The glory of God radiates through me as me, and I am free and renewed through the Christ within me. We pray to remember that we are ever connected to Spirit. We are grateful, and that gratitude creates in us a new spirit. And our scripture lesson from that reading is from Ephesians 4:24. Clothe yourself with the new self, created according to the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. So if you were with us last week, you know we talked about the aspects of change and how change can be good based on how you look at it. It's about your perception. What is it that you believe it to be? And this week, we're going to continue along those lines, and we're going to stay with that theme, and we're going to discuss accepting what is. Now, in the reading, Reverend Longo says that we can let go of that drama, and that drama only holds us back. And when we do that, we move from a space of drama and stress, and we get into a place of love and compassion. And so I found a reading, a story actually from a Buddhist tradition that I think will help explain about creating drama and accepting what is in this moment. And I'd like to preface this story a little bit because most people use this story to explain the reaction of the young monk. And I'm going to do that, but we're also going to talk about how the elder monk is reacting and his perspective in the story. So bear with me as I tell this story about the monks and the river. A senior monk and a junior monk were traveling together, and at one point they came to a river with a strong current. And as the monks were preparing to cross the river, they saw a very young and beautiful woman attempting to cross the river. The young woman asked if they could help her cross to the other side. The two monks glanced at one another because they had taken vows not to touch a woman. Then, without a word, the older monk picked up the woman, carried her across the river, placed her gently on the other side, and carried on with his journey. The younger monk couldn't believe what had just happened. After rejoining his companion, he was speechless, and an hour passed without a word between them. And then 2 more hours passed, and then 3, and finally the younger monk couldn't contain himself any longer, and he blurted out, "As monks, we are not permitted to touch a woman. How could you carry that woman on your shoulders?" And the older monk looked at him and replied, "Brother, I put her down on the other side of the river a long time ago. Why are you still carrying her?" So in this story, the monks are presented with a dilemma. The young woman needed to cross the river, and they didn't know exactly how they were going to get across it. At least that was from the young monk's perspective. The young monk thought that, well, based on what I know from before, I can't touch this woman. I cannot help her, so I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to move, and I'm not going to deal with the situation. I'm just going to go as if it doesn't happen. The elder monk, though, without much thought or even hesitation, he helped the woman across the river. He assessed the situation. He denied the negativity from the idea that he could have this dialogue with himself, that he shouldn't do that and he couldn't do that. And he just moved forward with what he needed to do. He accepted what was, and he took the necessary actions to do what he needed to do. And the younger monk, by not seeing the situation for what it was, which was the young woman who needed to cross the river, the young monk was not able to get past his inability to see a solution to the problem. And yet he couldn't move past the dilemma either. It still stayed with him even after the situation was gone. And even though his teachings were to affirm his vows and to remember that he wasn't allowed to touch this woman, and it was very important to him, he couldn't let it go. He couldn't let go of the scenario around in his mind. It went over and over and over while the elder monk had already moved on. He solved the problem. He looked at what was, he solved the problem, and he moved on. Now, in the book, The 12 Powers, Charles and Cora Fillmore say thoughts are things and they occupy space in the mental field. A healthy state of mind is attained and continued when the thinker willingly lets go of old thoughts and takes on the new. And we do that a lot here at Unity of Tacoma and Unity in general. We use affirmative prayer as our basic go-to tool of how we deal with our lives. We use this tool to help us to move forward in a positive way, to create the experience that we really would like to have in our lives. But we always forget that there's a prerequisite to this affirmation process, and there's actually two. There's the prerequisite of acceptance, and there's the prerequisite of denial. Now, the act of acceptance isn't the process of allowing what many people think it is. You're not giving it permission to stay with you or take up residence in your life forever. But the act of acceptance is a non-judgmental, mindful act of recognizing what's happening in the situation and in getting a clear understanding of what's occurring. The elder monk in the story was not ignoring it. He wasn't ignoring the situation, nor was he putting it behind him. He was able to act based on this neutral mindfulness he had of the situation to accept what was and make a choice from that standpoint. Now, if we don't look at what's troubling us at all, it will stay with us. And look at the younger monk. He was so wrapped up in what was happening that he didn't really see that the problem was already solved, that he needed to let that go. And I think of it more like when you're sick, like if you have a cold or something, if you ignore it, it may go away on its own. And after some time and suffering, maybe some cold medicine and some rest, you might get better. But if you don't take care of yourself, if you continue to ignore it, it could get worse, and it could get into a place where you have some long-term suffering or some effects that need to be addressed. You could get pneumonia or bronchitis or something else like that. So like this illness, in this same situation, if you ignore taking that first step of accepting what is, then things can go on without your attention, things that you don't, in a direction that you may not want it to go. So accepting what is the first step in the process of affirmation. And Eckhart Tolle says, whatever you fight, you strengthen, and whatever you resist persists. And this is really true. I found it really true in my life, where we're trying to practice affirmative prayer. We need to remember that it begins with the acknowledgement of what needs to be changed to begin with. It will keep blinders on if we don't look at what's happening. We can't solve problems we don't know that exist. So the first step in the allowing is that we acknowledge that there is something to be dealt with to begin with. We accept it as it is, and we look at it non-judgmentally and mindfully, where we're seeing exactly what's happening. Now, I'm not advocating that you stay in that situation or you stay in the place of, this is my life, oh dear, this is how it's going to be. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need to look at the current situation in order to know where you can move forward from. And when we use unity principles, we often focus on the positivity. And so we don't really want to look at the negativity that might be happening in this situation. And that's absolutely what we're supposed to do, looking at the positive. But that doesn't mean that we don't acknowledge what's happening. In fact, we often forget that there is a second thing that we need to do in order to, a prerequisite in order to get to the affirmation process. And that is called denial. And it's not denial in a way that's not acknowledging what's happening. It's not that kind of denial. We use denial in a way that allows us to let go of what it is that we have not acknowledged as being the problem. So at this point in the series, from accepting what is and getting to a place of denial, we are telling it that we no longer want it, and then we are letting it go. It's the unity practice of denial. It's one of the things that when I first started doing unity affirmative prayer, I didn't really understand that denial was a really important part of that process. It's an intentional act of acknowledging as well as practicing disarmament of what that thing is that is bothering you or something that you would like to move on from. And using denials prior to stating your affirmation, it neutralizes what's happening in the present and changes your focus on what will be instead of what is. And the step is important to the process of affirmative living. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck said that denial is the ability to let go and release old, outworn negative thoughts, feelings, attitudes, or incorrect beliefs. It is also the ability to refuse or reject. The elder monk in the story didn't allow the negative thoughts or the ideas or the negative self-talk in his brain to talk him out of what needed to be done. He knew that these thoughts would intrude his life, so he just decided to move, accept it as it was. He denied that negativity or that argument that he would have in his own mind and move forward with what he needed to do to get to the other side of the river and make sure that the lady was also on the other side of the river safely. During the affirmation process, once we've acknowledged the circumstances and accepted what is and deny what the negativity that we don't want, that doesn't serve us, then we can move on to the affirmation process. We can now affirm the outcome that they want to experience and not what we no longer want in our lives. The elder monk affirmed what needed to be done and moved accordingly with no remorse or no second thought. He even used circumstance to teach the younger monk what was happening and why he was doing it. The elder monk was able to continue on his journey and still go about his life with contentment and joy, and it didn't hold him back. And like the affirmative prayer process, I was thinking about this when I was writing, there is another way of looking at it. So I want to use this analogy. I don't know if anybody has read the book by Marie Kondo, who wrote the book about the Japanese art of decluttering. I have that book. I've looked at it, read it, tried it again. You continue. It's a process. And but during her process of clearing out your life of clutter and things you don't want, she asks you to take a look at what it is that you have. So you pick it up into your hands. So the first part of the process is looking at it, acknowledging it, accepting what is. Is this thing that is occupying my space, is it important to me? And you look at it. Do you look at it? Do you want it? Do you need it? Is it something that brings you joy? If it doesn't, that's when you let it go. That's the next process, part of the process. That first point is you accept what is this thing in my life. I accept it as part of my life. Or you can accept it as part of your past life and get ready to get to the point where you're going to move to the denial process, where you don't need it. You've decided that you don't need it. So in this process of you don't need it, it doesn't bring you joy. It's not worth any of your time or space to keep it. It's not something, it's just something you've had and something you've never, maybe a clothing you've never worn, or maybe a book you've never read, or something like that. And it's just taking up space in your life that you don't really need occupied. So at this point, it's time to let it go. It's time to move it to the other pile of discard. What is it that I want to get rid of? And in the affirmation process, once you accept that this is something that you don't want in your life, then it's time to get rid of it. You move it forward, you put it in the next pile. So same is true when we're moving on to affirmations. We want to make sure that we're clearing up the space to bring in something new. And if we don't get rid of it, we don't have room for it. We don't have room for the beauty and the love and the joy that we want to create for ourselves if we got all this negativity in our lives. So we look at it, we assess it, we decide we don't want it, we just put it in the discard pile, and then we get rid of it. And that is the act of moving forward and the analogy for the affirmation process. And now that you have all this wonderful, beautiful space, you can put something that you would like in it, or you can keep it open and wait for something to come to you that gives you joy and love and compassion. But that space is available. It's open and it's willing. And that's where we can move into that affirmative process of bringing in what it is we would like. Accept what is, deny what you don't want, and then move into the affirmation process. So the affirmative prayer process then allows you to begin by accepting accepting and acknowledge what's going on in the situation. And when we do that, we can then move to the space where we're not in denial. We are denying what it is that we do not want in our lives. We are telling it that it doesn't belong here, and we are essentially putting it in the discard pile and getting rid of it, just like Marie Kondo would do with all of her stuff. We are moving into a new space of being, and we can't do that if we're accumulating all of this negativity. If we move into the affirmation process without doing that, then we're just adding more and more stuff, but we still have underneath, we still have all that negativity and things that don't serve us anymore. And we can't then build from a positive state where our neutral state or our state of being is a place of positivity and love. You got to get rid of, you got to do the cleaning. You got to clean out your closet in your mind and decide whether or not those are important things to keep or important things to get rid of. Because you can't move on with the affirmative lifestyle if you don't get rid of what doesn't serve you anymore. And so the act of holding in our minds and our hearts, look at this, everything that we have, whatever it is, from our thoughts that tell us that we can't do it, to our people that we're working with that are annoying us, to people on the road when we're driving down and we start feeling negative and we have that idea. Stop a minute and say, hey, what is the situation here? And do I want it to take up occupancy in my body or in my mind? And then when you say, no, I don't want that, then discard it. And then you can start affirming, I am love, I am peace, and I am joy. And you can use this as a process with your affirmative prayer, with your affirmative lifestyle, making sure that you're continually cleaning out your closet of your mind and making sure that when you get to that space that you're able to bring in what it is you would like. And the monk knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't going to bring in all of that stuff, that negativity. He didn't want that taking up his closet. He just decided he was going to assess the situation. He was going to do what he needed to do. And he moved forward in joy and happiness and love. And none of that took up residence in his mind. So acceptance, denial, and then affirmation. That's the process that really helps us to be able to bring positivity into our lives and being able to be present and to acknowledge what needs to be done. Because if we don't look at what needs to be done, we don't know what needs to be done. If we don't see it, we don't know. So in a few moments, we're going to go through a meditation that will help us to be able to acknowledge and deny and then move into the affirmation process. But first, we're going to have ChristineEss come back and give us another song. And then we'll be right back.
It wakes me up at night. It needs to share its light. It doesn't get how dark it is outside. It warms the rising sun. It kisses everyone. It doesn't remember how the hate of yesterday. Oh, can't you hear it in my voice? Oh, can't you see it in my eyes? Love is alive in me. And when my golden crown becomes a cup of doubt, I try to remember all I need is all around. Oh, can't you hear it in my voice? Oh, can't you see it in my eyes?
Thank you. Oh, so let's get into a space of meditation. And today we're going to do an affirmative prayer process that will incorporate accepting what is, denying what it is we do not want, and then affirming what it is we would like to bring into our existence. So let's get into a place of comfort, whatever that is for you, whether you're sitting in a chair or lying back on the couch or on the bed, wherever you are, that is comfortable for you. I would like you to be comfortable because I need you to do some work today. So we need your body to be relaxed, but we also need to do the work. So get into that space, take a deep breath, and just let it out. Preparing yourself, opening your mind and your heart to what needs to be heard and the things that need to be done. And as we sit here, I would just like you to take a moment to just look at what it is that you have going on in your life right now. And you don't have to take the whole spectrum of things. You can pick just one thing in your life, because everybody has so many things that they're dealing with. Just pick one thing in your life that you would like to look at. And just look at it. I don't want you to judge it. I don't want you to put any labels on it. I just want you to look at it as if you were looking at a picture or a movie. What is going on? No emotional attachment, no negative or positive. It just is. In a mindful way, just look at what's happening in that instance. Just take a moment to really look at it. If you're looking at it as if it's a movie, you could fast forward it, you can rewind it, you can you can zoom in, you can zoom out. Just allow you to look at it from all sides, whatever you need to see. Look at it non-judgmentally, allowing it to sit with you. As you look at this thing that's happening, this thing that you are dealing with right now in this moment, well, I want you to look at it as if you were holding it in your hand. Look at it. And does this thing that you're dealing with, does it bring you joy? Does it bring you happiness? Does it bring you love and contentment? Or is it something that is difficult or something you don't want in your life, something you don't want it to take residence or you don't want it to continue to be with you any longer? Look at it. Again, we're not going to add too much of emotion to it. I just want you to identify it where it is in your life. Is it something that you enjoy doing? Is it something that you don't enjoy doing? Is it something you don't want? Is it something that you do want? This is the moment, this denial process. This is where you look at it and say, I want to keep it. I'm going to find a place for it. I'm going to work it out. We're going to make this work. Or you're going to look at it and you're going to get rid of it. You're just going to set it aside. Just think of it as a discard pile, and you're going to send it out into the universe to be recycled. Decide what you would like to do with this situation. Take a moment. Is it something you keep or something you get rid of? And if you've decided that it is something you would like to keep, just rejoice in the fact that this is a project that you will move forward with, and the next few steps in the affirmation process will help you get there. If it is something you don't want, if you want to discard it, set it free. Like I said, you can visualize putting it in a discard pile or a box to be recycled, or you can think about it as letting the dogs out or just setting them free. This is it. You're going to let it go, and now they can go wherever you need to go. It doesn't serve you anymore. It doesn't belong with you. It needs to be somewhere else. And maybe the energy that you needed, that you held on to, needs to go somewhere else to be recycled and used with another person. So allowing yourself to get rid of it allows that opening for yourself and maybe for someone else. So think of it as not just I'm letting it go because I just don't like it. Think of it as a freeing. It's an opening. It's an allowing. And this is where you are right now. Take another breath now that you've released and you've decided what you would like to do with this situation, whether you want to keep it or you want to release it. Whatever it is, this is what is, and you accept what is. And now, from this point, you can move forward and you can affirm what you would like to happen in your life. If you decided to keep this, whatever it is in your life, now you can affirm how you want to bring joy and peace and love to this situation. You can decide, and now you can start using affirmations. I want, I accept, I allow, this is what I want. If you decided to let it go, if you decide that it needs to be set free, it no longer needs to be part of your life, look at that space you've created. Look at how wonderfully open that is. And what would you like to put in that space? There's so much possibility there in that small little space, or it may be a big space. Once you let it go, you've opened yourself up to more possibility. What would you like to put in that space? What would you like to affirm? Take a moment to just think of that. And just reflect on that. You can go into your heart and you can listen to that still small voice of the source that's within you at all times and just find out what is it that you would like to fill that space. You realize that you have the power to do, to be, to create whatever it is you would like. You are strong enough to let go what doesn't serve you. Now you are more than willing and able and have the strength and capability to bring what it is that you do want into your life. Everything falls into place and you know that all is well in this moment, regardless of what was happening before, because that's no longer in your experience. You've let that go. And just take a moment to affirm with gratitude that that space that's open, that thing that you would like to create in your life, it is what you would like. And you're so grateful for this opportunity to have this new opening, this new existence in your life. You are new and cleaned out, and the closet of your brain and your heart have been cleaned out, and you have space for something better, something that serves you, something you'll wear, something that you'll use. This is what you want for yourself, and this is the beauty of who you are and where you are. And you're so grateful. I'm so grateful. Say that to yourself. I'm empowered to be grateful and live the life that I would like to express. Just sit in that gratitude and that love and that embodiment. Just embody that entire circumstance, that being, that feeling, that emotion, everything involved, because as much effort as you put into it, you'll get so much more back to you if you put more effort into it. So just allow yourself to completely be embodied with this, completely in it. You're immersed in the entire situation. This is who you are. This is the new you. Accept that as it is. And as we end this meditation, know that this process can happen anytime. Whenever you come up with a circumstance that seems difficult or problem or just something that doesn't seem right, you can look at it in the same way. Mindfulness, accepting what is, non-judgmentally allowing it to be, deciding whether or not it serves you, letting it go or keeping it depending on what the circumstances are, and then affirming how you would like to go, because this is your life, it's your journey, it's where you want to be. And as we end this meditation, take a deep breath and let it out, bringing your awareness back to your body, feeling yourself on the whether you're sitting on the chair or lying on the bed or on the couch, breathing in and out, your awareness of space and time, that your body is in this space and time. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes and bring your awareness back to this space. And I want to thank you for taking the time to discern what it is that you would like to have in your life and take the steps to get there. ChristineEss is going to bring us out of meditation with another song, and then we'll end our service with the offering and announcements.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Thank you. That was beautiful. So we come to the portion of our service where we open our hearts to give. All donations that we receive here at Unity of Tacoma support the missions and various outreach programs here at Unity in Tacoma. And so we're able to invite and to have all the wonderful musicians like ChristineEss and all of the things that we do here. And without your support, we couldn't do what we do. And there are several ways that you can give. You can give to our website at www.unityoftacoma.org/donate to give via PayPal. You can donate through Zelle using our telephone number 253-576-3225, or you can mail a check to Unity of Tacoma at P.O. Box 112289, Tacoma, Washington 98411. And as we prepare to give, I'd like you to hold that intention within your hearts and with your hands, and visualizing the circulation of abundance flowing through you and as you. As Jesus taught in Luke 6:38, give and you will receive. You will be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give back to you. And as you visualize holding this gift within your hand and your heart, please repeat after me. Divine love
Divine love
flowing through me
flowing through me
blesses and multiplies
blesses and multiplies
all that I am,
all that I am,
all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I give,
all that I give,
and all that I receive.
and all that I receive.
I am grateful for my blessings today,
I am grateful for my blessings today,
and I am grateful in every way.
and I am grateful in every way.
And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen.
So may the blessings of your gift bring so many blessings back to you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at Unity of Tacoma for your continued support. So our announcements, we are continuing our Release and Renew spiritual support group that we are having every Wednesday, and we'll be doing this Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. until April 6th. And if you're interested in being part of this group, we actually go over things that help us bring well-being and joy and comfort into our lives. And you can contact me by emailing me at lori@unityoftacoma.org. That's Lori, Lori, at unityoftacoma.org. And you can let me know whether or not you would like the link to join us. It's Wednesday on Zoom at 6:30 p.m. Wherever you are, you can come and sit and hopefully find some skills and to find the support that you need to be able to be as well and happy and content as you can be in your life. So please contact me if you would like to be part of that group on Wednesdays. Next Sunday, April 3rd at 10 a.m., we will continue with our Release and Renew series. We will not be meeting in person next Sunday. We will be live streaming again one more day. Our musical guest will be the Zebas that day. So please tune in. We have some really exciting things that are going on next week. So I'd really like to have you part of that experience. We have some really exciting things coming in on April 10th, which is 2 weeks, on Palm Sunday. Wow, we're already at April 10th. Wow. It's Palm Sunday, April 10th. After our Sunday message, we will be meeting for a Sunday brunch. And this will happen. We have got some space at Surge, South Tacoma, which is located at 5401 South Tacoma Way. It's located right across the street from the Fern Seed Plant Store or kitty corner from the church cantina. And so if you're familiar with that area, they're got some really cool stuff going on down there. There's plenty of parking in back, and you can just come on in through the front door, big opening. It's really inviting in there. And we're going to have Stefan Plummer will be our musical guest that day. And she's going to stay with us after service to be able to entertain us and do some sing-along stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So come to the brunch on Palm Sunday, April 10th at South Tacoma Surge. And it's going to be great. And if you like what's happening here at Unity of Tacoma, if you like what you heard or you like the musicians or anything here, please let people know on social media where you're spending your Sunday morning. Please use it on let people know on Facebook, on Instagram, on whatever it is that you use for your social media. Just share and say, hey, these people aren't so bad. You should check them out. You can see them on live stream, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to be back to in-person services. So it's going to be really exciting. So let people know. And if you don't have social media, just tell your friends and family where you're at, because we would like to have as many people as possible hear our message and to share our love and joy here from Unity of Tacoma. And so I will end the service today with the benediction, and it's rather short. It's from the Buddha. And I thought because we had a Buddhist story, it would be very appropriate to send us off on this Sunday with a Buddhist blessing or a quote. And the Buddha says, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. So as you go out into the world this week, make it the way you would like it to be. Don't be a victim of what is. Allow yourself to be more and to be better. And so it is. ChristineEss, thank you for being here today. I appreciate your wonderful music, and it's always appropriate and wonderful and supportive and inspirational, and we're so glad that you're here. She's going to take us out with Let There Be Peace on Earth, which is our ending song. And as you do so, sing along if you know the words.
be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.